Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. I am Cher and welcome to my favorite video of the month, which is my eyeshadow palette rankings video. I love to do this once a month where we take all of the eyeshadow palettes I have used for the entire month and I attempt to rank them in order of preference for me and by favorites. And I love to include pictures of the looks I've created with these palettes as well. And it's so fun. It feels like a little portfolio of different looks. It challenges me to try different things and make sure I'm using all of my palettes. And it also helps me know what needs to be decluttered as well from my eyeshadow palette collection. So if all of this interests you and you love you some eyeshadow palettes, rankings and whatnot, then kick back and we'll dig right on in. So welcome if you're new here, guys. I definitely love to cover a lot of different beauty here. We do a lot of beauty boxes on the channel, the spoilers, the unboxings, the try-ons, the reviews on a lot of the popular ones. But I love it when I get to do the fun stuff like this too, because there's nothing like playing around with my eyeshadow palettes, my babies, and getting to do a little bit more artistic things. I don't get around to it as much with all of the boxes that keep me so busy. And I do get a lot of my eyeshadow palettes from some of the beauty boxes that are more makeup themed. So it's just a great way to kind of try them all out and share with you what all I've tested out for the month. Also keep in mind that my style and my palettes that I really love the most tend to be maybe a little bit different than other people's preferences and whatnot. So keep that in mind as I'm ranking them. I'm not as much of a huge like colorful makeup girl. And I know a lot of folks are that love their eyeshadow palettes. I like some, but for like creative uses here and there, I'm kind of more of a, well, I'm a bridal makeup artist. And so I love the ones that are just pretty, beautiful and pretty, party glam, bridal glam, just make me feel elegant and pretty. So that is kind of what I base a lot of my rankings on, and just the wearability of them. So keep that in mind as I'm going through the rankings. They may differ from your opinion on some of these palettes you may own too. But anyway, so let's dig in and we're going to start at the bottom and work our way up. And keep in mind, just because something's ranked at the bottom doesn't mean it's a bad palette. It's just in relation to all these other amazing palettes too. So for October, now I know October's not completely over with, but I know that I've probably got some really important videos I've got to get out towards the very end of the month. So I decided to go ahead and do my rankings now. And it's kind of like there might have been a couple on the last few days of September that I'm including here. It's just for this last month. So I used 20 palettes, it looks like total. I keep track of them. And so coming in at the bottom, in last place here is the one that you guys see every single month, and that is my little ColourPop Down to Earth palette. And it's not that this is a bad palette, it's just that, you know, compared to all the others, I mean, it's just sort of your standard quad, little smoky eyes in here. But I'm primarily use this for my eyeliner. I tend to wear it more as eyeliner than I do eyeshadow, but occasionally I do like it for eyeshadow too. It makes a fun, good, very smoky, you know, darker look. But it also is perfect because it has all the perfect shades you could need for like just a good subtle eyeliner, because it has the dark browns in it and a black, just depending on which look you're going with. I am wearing it today as my eyeliner, and I just map out a wing. And I tend to prefer eyeshadows as my eyeliner just because I'm 46. And so sometimes liquid liners and big gel eyeliners just, I don't know, they don't do as well on my 46-year-old eyes. So I usually go with a little more subtle like eyeshadow color for my eyeliner. Okay, so coming in next in the lineup, I want to love this palette so much. I really do, because I really love Il Makiage. I think we've just gotten so burned out on Il Makiage in our Ipsy boxes lately. And I did get this one, I think the last time maybe in Icon Box. And it's supposed to also be the beauty boost for this coming month in November. And a lot of us are just tired of Il Makiage palettes. We just get so many of them as repeats. And I do really love Il Makiage and the formula and everything, but this color story just, it doesn't do much for me. You would think it would, because I tend to be big on pinks and neutrals and browns, and that's everything that's in here. But oh, I don't know, on me, it just, I don't ever feel as like inspired and gorgeous when I wear it. So there's just something about the color story that just isn't as beautiful on me as I would like it to be. So like it's okay, but it's just, I tend to like, I have to like force myself to reach for this palette. And I thought I would love to reach for it being fall. It has some good fall colors. It's got some berries coming up for the winter, but I don't feel it that much. All right, next, this surprises me that I ranked it so low, but just compared to a lot of the others this month. This is the Lancome Hypnose palette, I think it was, and it's just a very, you know, everyday wear, great for travel, just your simple little pan here. You got 5 shades in it. I feel like it's very versatile because you just, I don't know, I feel like it's just a great everyday wear thing. And I definitely have brought it with me on trips, and I like how I look in it. I think it's just, it's a little boring compared to everything else I have this month. So I still really like it. You know, great for a nice higher end palette. You know, I'd still kind of like recommend it. it's just boring. All right, next one. You guys are going to notice a little bit of a theme from me this month in that I'm not feeling some of these luxury palettes as much this month. It might just be like there was excitement when I was first trying it and, ooh, I own this brand or that brand, you know. So I ranked it higher before in the month I tried it, but then now that I've had it, it's kind of like, for the price, was this really worth it? Formula-wise and just inspiration-wise and color story-wise, I don't know. So I'm actually ranking my Chanel palette fairly low here. This is the Divination palette, and it came for the fall collection, and I did do a whole video with a little review on the things I had picked up. And I do like these colors, and I think they're great for Halloween, spooky season time. It really does give kind of this very like French in the graveyard-esque feeling, in my opinion. A little bit of these witchy vibes with the green and then the purple. Like, I think they go well and they make a great little color story, but there's pretty much just one color story I can make, one look pretty much. And then the purple, if you just go with the purple by itself, you know, it's purple. I don't know. It just, there's not much you can do with it for the price that you're paying for Chanel. So it's ranking a little lower, guys. Similarly, my Tom Ford palette is also ranking lower this month. It's been ranking very high in a lot of my other videos, and I think it's because I do love this little silky formula that it creates, and it is a good like everyday wear for me when I especially just wear these 3 colors. I rarely even wear the green out of it. So I've ranked it higher, but I don't know, now I'm just very uninspired by it, so it's gonna rank a little lower this month. And this was the Emerald Dusk palette, just to clarify that. And I feel like, I think it was like maybe on the spring collection, or like it came out close to the spring. And even Pat McGrath is ranking in the middle or lower of the middle. And I can't believe it, because I have loved this palette in the past, but for some reason in October, I just was like, you know, it's mostly like your pinks, a little purple. Honestly, the 2 main colors I'm the most drawn to is these 2 together. And I think just having done so many other palettes with so many more pans and color stories in them, yeah, like I reach for the others a lot more than this one, because I just feel like this is so simple with not much in it. So I think that's just, I'm reaching for it less this month, I guess. So this was the Celestial Nirvana palette from Pat McGrath, by the way. I don't think I told you. Okay, next we have the Eloise Goddess palette. I can't believe I'm ranking this above some of those luxury palettes, but for me, the color story is just really pretty on it. We got this in our Ipsy and BoxyCharm this month, and so I did do the try on for you and everything. Now, I ended up going with, it did put this darker blue in mine, and I used it with that too. I think mostly because I wanted to try to use as many of the shades in the palette for you so that you'd have a good like feel for the palette and all the colors and how they worked. But what happened was this color here ended up making it a lot darker color story, which was fine. Like, it was fun, it was nice, and I think it worked for the season too. But I haven't had a chance to play with it much yet to see how it would go if I leave out the darker colors and kind of went with these brighter ones, because I really wanted to see the pretty blue really right here pop. So I think I'll like the palette even more after I have a chance to play with that more. But in general, so I kind of ranked it somewhere in the middle here, that it was a really pretty palette, you know, overall, but maybe just a little bit behind some of the other palettes I have coming up that I love as well. All right, next up on the list is the Natasha Denona Mini Crush Palette, which I am wearing on my eyes today. They're a little messy though, because I'm at the end of the day here and I was in a hurry. I went to go grab lunch, and I didn't really take a lot of time to put my makeup on. Like, I literally had about 10 minutes to put on makeup and get out the door. And if you know me, you'll know 10 minutes is not a lot of time for me to do my makeup properly. But so this was what ended up just messily, like I literally did my fingers and went like this on my eyes. And then, you know, that was this morning that I put it on, and it's now about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's just worn off. Anyway, so this is what I have on my eyes, but I also wore it the other day as well, which I will put a picture in here for you. And what I did with it before was I put a topper with it. That is the Saya, however you pronounce that, that we got in the ice cream beauty box this month, which I'll talk about that in a minute on another palette. But this was a really fun little topper, and I just combined it with it, and I liked that look a little better. I will say this topper is, it's fun, but kind of hard to like blend on. It's definitely more gonna give you just straight like sequins onto your eyes. So not a great one for blending, but it kind of does the job. I like the look. And then the Natasha Denona palette itself though, like, it's okay. It's in the middle. I love Natasha Denona formulas, but this one, it's just, the colors aren't as fun pink as I always like. So, but I always love pinks, and I love Natasha Denona. So this is probably like towards the bottom of my rankings on Natasha Denona palettes, just because the color story is like, I don't know, it's different pinks than what I usually like to wear. So it's just kind of so-so in the middle for me. However, the next one that we're ranking is the Beauty Moon Cosmetics, and this was a collab with the Ice Cream Beauty Box. This month, they had the complete pink takeover for Pink October for breast cancer awareness. And if you guys saw that video, you'll know that I just fell in love, and it was my favorite box yet because everything was pink. And so this palette included, it was so pretty. It was just a complete pink palette. Like, these look like they've got some, you know, more neutrals or like brown colors, but everything really leans pink when you swatch them and put them on the eyes. And even this one I thought was going to be silver, but it came off a lot more pink because it's kind of got this shifty, if you can see that on camera. So everything was just very pink. And if you know me, I love pink. And these were, they were brighter pinks though, like bubblegum pinks on the eyes, which I ended up with a very pigmented bubblegummy pink look. And I don't necessarily tend to go out with that bright of pink on my eyes for everyday wear, but you could soften it down a little bit still. So I ended up loving this palette because it is for the pink girly pink lover like me. Okay, we're starting to get into some of the top favorites, even though we have a little ways to go, but we're just getting to the ones that are just getting so hard for me to rank because I love all of these. This is the ColourPop Lilac You a Lot. I still just love this palette because it just makes the most gorgeous lilac colors, and y'all will know that this is one of the ones that busted on me when I opened it in one of the mystery boxes, if you saw that video, but I was able to get it replaced by ColourPop, so I'm really glad because it's just so pretty, and it remains one of my favorites, favorite ColourPops and favorite palettes out there. All right, and then you guys know my sweet friend Mela, who I talk about all the time because she is always gifting me things all the time and is so sweet and generous like that. And she sent me my very first Mora Cosmetics palette, and this is called the Pretty Little Thoughts. And how beautiful is that, guys? Is that not so pretty? I love these shades in here. So I had been wanting to do Mora, but this is the first time I got to do it, and so this was a really pretty one. You know, formula wise though, I would say it's kind of average compared to some of my favorite formulas out there, but such a pretty color story. So it's ranking kind of up there, but maybe not like at the very tippity top, mostly because of the formula. All right, and then above that, we have the Natasha Denona Glam Palette. Now, I had gotten this one, you know, on a steal, and I had been really wanting it because of the whole grungy colors in it, kind of cooler tone, dustier, grayer vibes. But after I got it, like, it wasn't as amazing as I had pictured that it was going to be. And I hadn't had a lot of inspiration on this one. I had been ranking it a little lower at times. But this look that I created this month with it, I absolutely ended up loving. And so I wore this when I went for our little spooky field trip Friday with my son on Friday. And I was like, let me go a little bit spookier themed and just do some kind of grungy, smoky eye feeling on the eyes. And it just came out so cool. I loved it. So I actually am starting to love this palette now a little bit more after that look. So I'm gonna have to play even more with it and see. But yeah, so it's ranking a bit higher now. Okay, and then here is a luxury palette that I do rank very high, and that is the Dior Holiday collection one. Well, there was a couple of them, but the one that I picked up was the Golden Masquerade palette. And this is the one that has more of the reds and pinks in it. I just love this. It is so stunning. I just felt like this beautiful berry princess in it. I just felt like with the Dior lippy with it, it was just stunning, so classy looking, perfect for the holidays. Loved the look that it created with it. So this one just kind of makes me swoon a little bit. Definitely love this luxury palette for sure. All right, and then one of my favorites for fall, and this has just been a favorite palette, I love it, is the ColourPop Wild Child palette. And I love these shades. They are just the perfect like chocolatey mousse on the eyes. They've got the perfect mix of shimmers and mattes, and they just come off with this perfect like fall look to me. So I love wearing this and have been here in the fall. Just the perfect color, and I think they look good on me personally. Like I tend to really love like warmer tones on me, so great looks. So loving this palette too. And then if you guys have been around here, a lot of you will know that I have this thing for Ciete London. I love Ciete London's palettes, their formulas, their color stories. I don't know what it is. I love how they look on me. I love playing with them. They're just like the perfect palettes for share. And there's always like mixed thoughts when we get them in Ipsy. Some don't love getting Ciete London, but I love it. So anyway, this is the Spice palette, and I love to bring this out in the fall and the holidays. I think it's just perfect for that. It looks very berry toned and burgundy, but it really makes like softer pinks than what it looks like in here too sometimes. So it's just, every time I wear it, I just feel pretty. I just love it. I love working with it. And again, I loved this one with a little bit of a cranberry lip. Perfect combination and one of my favorite looks this month, honestly. All right, this is just getting harder and harder because I just love all of these palettes. So this is the Juvia's Place Vanessa, and I got it in their recent mystery box. Is that not so pretty? I just adore this palette, and I love how it looks on me. I love these shimmers right here, but these are all the perfect matte colors for me also. And every time I wear it is the perfect pink. Y'all are seeing this theme of pink for sure, but this is just so, so pretty. Not a lot of looks I get out of it, but like when I wear it, like I love it. I just have this burst of excitement to wear that pink and those pink sparkles. I can't beat them. So this is ranking very high. All right, and then also if you've been around here, you'll know that the Natasha Denona Golden palette has been a favorite since it came out in the summer. It's one of my top palettes from her, and just over and over again. It's just the perfect, like, you know, there's neutrals in it, but then there's those golden tones that are just so stunningly gorgeous too. And I wore it this month. I just felt like I had the perfect like fall look again with this, you know, with the browns. I just felt so I was just rocking fall. Like it just screamed autumn to me, and it was the perfect color on the eyes. I didn't go with the like full-blown golden ones here, but I can't remember what I used, maybe around in here. And it just created this kind of another kind of milk chocolate look, I guess. All right, we are getting down to our top three. So the ABH Anastasia Beverly Hills Nouveau palette. This is one of my absolute top favorite palettes too. There's just something about this formula that it doesn't have in some of the other ABH palettes that I own, but I still love all my ABH palettes. But anyway, this is so beautiful. I love how it's kind of like some cool tones in there, but then you've got a little bit warmer ones also. So this month I wore kind of those golden or like rose gold tones in it to create another kind of just fall look. Also, I was just really going for those fall vibes, and I love how it kind of has this rusty leaves, or like, you know, just rusty autumn feeling to it in here. So it kind of is such a versatile palette that it can create so many different looks because it has all these different like color tones in it that are just so pretty. Kind of the metallics and the rusties, and but then you've also got a little bit of pastel going on, and I just always feel so pretty every time I wear it. So this is one of my top favorite palettes that I own, honestly. Another one that was like, I mean, this was just the very tippity top of all the palettes out there too. Another one that my Malice sent to me last month, I think it was. This ranked as my number one. And I was just raving about how, you know, this is my first Sigma palette. I fell in love with the formula. I just felt like the formula is incredible. I love the blend, and I've got to get more Sigma now. And I'm not surprised because I love, you know, the other Sigma. Their brushes are my ride or die. Other things I've done with Sigma, but this was my first Sigma palette. And so I, of course, had to wear it again. This time I was kind of in my like cranberry and berry zones for like several days in a row there. I wore like all berries from all these different palettes. And this was one of them too. And I just continue to absolutely love this palette as one of my top favorites. You know, it doesn't stand out as like just gorgeous when you open it up, but it's the way that it looks on me and the way that it just blends. It has this incredible creamy formula to it that I just don't know how to explain. But I'm like, maybe it's just this palette or maybe it's all Sigma. I'm gonna have to get more to find out, but I am absolutely in love with this formula in these shadows, and these are some of my favorite color stories anyway, all the pinks and berries and some neutrals. So absolutely love it. Okay, so I think last month these were flipped, and this was still a top palette last month, but now it's my number one. I think it's just the one I am reaching for the most, that I want to play with the most, and it's just, it might be because it's fall right now, and so I'm just really into these. It's not grungy colors, but it's like you got some neutrals, but some rustier, fun goldens and browns and oranges, but then smokies, and it's just where I'm at for the fall and spooky season. And that is the new Jeffree Star Orgy 2 palette. It is just amazing. And you guys will know, it's no secret that I absolutely love his formula. And you know, it's controversial at times, I get it, but I just, his formula is unbeatable to me. I love his eyeshadow palettes, and this color story is unreal. I tend to need a lot of like the neutrals and a lot of these same colors, but now they have these incredible shimmers to them too that are different from the Orgy 1 palette, because those were all mattes. This is just such a favorite palette, and I am reaching for it constantly. And every time that I reach for it, I create a different look that's like different than the last one. It just, they all have, like, it looks like it might be boring because it's all like the browns and neutrals or whatever, with a little pop of cooler tones maybe around in there. But no, they're a very unique shade. Like, each shade has this unique color that, like, I can't seem to find in any of my other neutral colors and like palettes. So I don't know how to explain it, but there's still like this very unique pops of color. Jeffree Star formula always wins for me, and this one definitely still is taking the cake. I tried it last month when it had just come out, and I did a comparison of both the Orgy 1 and the Orgy 2, did a whole review on it, and I am still crazy in love with it. I think I ranked it second last month though, but this month, this is just where I am at. So the number 1 is the Orgy 2 palette. So did you guys guess right? Could you guess it this time? And again, I think it's also just that it's fall. So, and like right at Halloween. So it's just these like orangey, bronzy, golden neutrals, but then some cool tones, smokies, like spooky eyes, like grungy too. Like this, that's where I'm at, is like fall and grungy at the moment for the fall season and the Halloween season. So, and it's so versatile. You've got like every color imaginable in this palette. So anyway, that was number 1. What do you guys think? Let me know also which one is your number 1 this month, what you've been using in October, and if you agree with my rankings or not. If you love this kind of content where you like to see lots of eyeshadow palette rankings, I still have been wanting to get you guys a Jeffree Star rankings video. Just going through all my Jeffree Star palettes. But as you see, you'll probably know what's number 1 of all the palettes that I own from him. So be looking for that. I've been meaning to do that still. I just have so many videos to film. But if you do love you some eyeshadow palette rankings, different looks that we create with eyeshadow palettes, reviews on them, and declutters and all of that, then you'll want to stick around here because I love that kind of content. It's like my favorite content besides vlogs. I think vlogs are my number 1 that I love. But anyway, we do a lot of different things here. You don't want to miss it all. You'll want to pop that subscribe, turn the notification bells on so you don't miss it in the future. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.